What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and want stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the debut album from the band Cenotaphe, entitled Monte Verita. This is released on Ossuaire Records, Nuclear War Now Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of France, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, melodic, atmospheric style of black metal. Yeah. Cenotaphe has really made a very, very prominent and important name for themselves within underground black metal. And of course, throughout their body of work, they have only gotten better and better and stronger with time. Of course, this is a duo primarily comprised of Fog and Chaos Got. Fog doing all the musicianship and instrumentation, and Chaos Got doing the vocals. It's crazy to think that two people could create such sweeping, beautiful, cinematic music, but here we are with Cenotaphe, and it's been absolutely amazing. Of course, from the first demo we heard from this band back in 2016 with Les Larves Exultent, to the Horizons EP, to their excellent split with Circle of Ouroboros, and of course the last time we had heard something from them back in 2019 with Empire. Absolutely phenomenal stuff, great vocal diversity, awesome musicianship, killer riffs and blast beats throughout, just an altogether really awesome package. And it's also worth noting that these guys were at one point involved in the band Necropole, which was another really awesome French black metal project that deserves a lot of love and attention. But now, after all this time, we finally come full circle here with the debut full-length from Cenotaphe entitled Monte Verita. It's 8 tracks, and it clocks in at around 46 minutes in length, and I love the way that this album starts out. I feel as though at the beginning you're listening to a Vangelis score. You know, the guy who did the score for Blade Runner, the original Blade Runner. I kind of get those vibes upon first listening to the opening track of Meiosis. But then once you get past that and you get towards the actual instrumentation and musicianship, I've come to the conclusion that as far as extreme music in 2020 goes, this Cenotaphe album is the one to beat for me. This is probably my favorite metal album that I've listened to this year so far, and probably my favorite black metal album of 2020. This is absolutely beautiful stuff, and it really goes to show you how far a band like Cenotaphe have come along from their early demos to EPs to where we are now. It is just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Speaking of beautiful stuff, let's talk about the music. Oh my goodness, this music is so beautifully executed here. Lots of beautiful, regal sounding riffs to be heard throughout this entire album. I'm really not going to try to pronounce some of these song titles because I feel I may butcher them, but track 2 and 3 of this record really show you how far along the riffs go and how creative and emotionally jarring these riffs really sound. Demon Promontour Astral is another really awesome track that showcases the beautiful musicianship of this record. Ne Muglis, the title track towards the very end. Just a lot of beautiful musicianship to be heard throughout this album. The riffs are very powerful. I mean, I'd say that it has a melodic and atmospheric sort of sound to it, but I wouldn't compare it to other black metal bands that have that melodic and atmospheric sort of sound, because Cenotaphe does it somewhat differently and in a way make it unique and make it all their own. And I think the musicianship throughout the majority of this album is just beautiful to listen to. The riffs, the keys, the bass work, altogether the way this album sounds, it's just beautiful to listen to. The drumming on here is fantastic too. There really is never a dull moment when it comes to this drum performance. A lot of blast beats, a lot of energy, a lot of well-paced musicianship to be heard when it comes to this drum performance. And it's really awesome to hear that a guy like Fog could make all this possible and execute everything as well as it sounds. It's just beautiful stuff. And when it comes to the vocals, Chaos Got's vocals are just something to behold here. He has a lot of emotion and passion in his voice, from the screams to the retched vocals to the sung parts in certain songs. It's just amazing to hear a lot of this vocal range and vocal diversity going on here. Of course, a lot of it is very harsh, but once you get to the more diverse sort of moments throughout this album, you'll come to appreciate why this guy is such an amazing vocalist and delivers an absolutely stunning vocal performance here. So overall, if you are a fan of Cenotaphe's previous work, I really don't see why you wouldn't enjoy something like Monte Verita. This is an absolutely beautiful album. Like I said, this is the album of the year for me right now as far as 2020 goes. I don't know if something could potentially push it to the side and become even better, but who already knows? This is a beautiful record, and if you're a fan of French black metal, if you're a fan of Cenotaphe, you are absolutely going to enjoy this record. Man, I wish something like this didn't end so soon. This is such a beautiful album. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Ossuaire Records Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it, buy it digitally. To the best of my knowledge, Ossuaire Records put out the CD version of this album. There's also tape versions, but I believe they've since sold out. At the time of filming this, Nuclear War Now Productions are putting out a vinyl version of Monte Verita, and of course you can expect high-end, top quality with them putting out a vinyl version of this album. And hopefully it will stay in print, because this is definitely something that needs to be heard and owned by anybody and everybody who loves French black metal. So, again, the album is Monte Verita by Cenotaphe. This is released on Ossuaire Records, Nuclear War Now Productions. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very, very strong 9.5 out of 10. Absolute, nearly perfect record. This is the one to beat right now. I don't know if something could potentially beat it, and maybe something will, but who knows. If you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it, or any of you guys into Cenotaphe, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Army Hell out.